Welcome back to PJ Chen Design. This is PJ. In today's jewelry CAD design tutorial, I would like to use a Rhino 3D software to share with you how to make a star in 3 different ways. One for flat, one for a little bit curved surface, and the other one is all the way rounded. Are you ready? Let's get started. There are 3 different ways to making this star. As you can see, those two is into the nerve object, and this one is using the sub D. So that's starting one by one. Alright, let's starting with the front view. We want to use this polygon tool, and we want to snapping into the 0. Right here on the top, you can change to any size. In my case, I want to have a star, so I want to have a size equal 5. And when you hit enter, you can holding the shift and click on the top on the green line here. And then, sorry, this is a polygon. We actually need to use this one for the star. And we want to snapping into the 0, holding the shift key one more time, bringing to showing like how pointed that you want on your star. So I want something like this for my demonstration. All right, so the first one is quite simple. We are just need to extrude in this one going straight. So we're going to straight up, and I'm going to do 4mm on the both sides, so we'll get 8mm total. And we want to use a command for fitted edges. Let's fitted edges for 2, so make it a little bit more rounder, and we want to fit it everything at once. So we'll get this type of the star right there. Okay, now the second one, we do need to have, as you can see on the front view, I'm going to put everything into the ghost view now. As you can see, the front that you see is completely flat, right? So I like to have something a little bit puffy. So what I like to do is draw a sphere. And again, snapping into the 0. And I want a sphere, it's about this size. Whatever size is fine, we can always scale. And I'm gonna using this star and to trim off this outside there. So you can see I have both top and the bottom. And then if you feel like this top and the bottom is like too rounded, you can kind of 1D scale it down so it's not as rounded, but just a little bit puffy. It depends on how you like it, right? If you do want to keep that roundness, and what you can do is you can just move this back and have that mirror to the other side, right? So we're gonna using the mirror command, snapping anywhere in the middle, and then so you'll get something like this. It's really up to you. I actually like to have that not as puffy there, so I'm just gonna do 1D scale. Now how we gonna build this side, you can have this curve again, and this time you want to extrude it only the surface. So I was using the gumball, just dragging that extruded icon, and let's using this one, both of the surface, this one and the one on the bottom, and we are going to trim it off, the one on the top and also the one on the bottom. Okay, so now we have something like this. We can go ahead to join them. Double make sure this is a closed solid polished surface there. All right, can we round off the corner? We could, depends on the size. If we use the same for 2, and we're gonna hit over here, then you will still work because we do have some room there. And as you can see, this one compared to this one, I mean moving this one here, and maybe just make the same thickness there. And so from the rendering that you can see, if we look at the render view in the perspective, you can see one is more rounded all the way and compared to the other one, right? Maybe I shouldn't make this thinner, so it's hard to tell. All right, so this is all the way rounded, but still the one in the middle is pretty straight there. One thing you can do if you want to do additional edit, you can use the cage edit, and you can create a bounding box, and you want to align to the wall and things like that, and maybe say like maybe this one all the way on the side, we want to pick up all of them, and we want to do 1D scale. Something like that. You can still manipulate it, and maybe you want this one even more, going something like that, right? So you can keep manipulate it if you want to. So maybe this one, you can see the surface getting a little bit complicated. Luckily in the render view, it's not that obviously, but if you look really detailed over here, when you try to squish it too much, you kind of see the surface edge right there on the render, right? So, but that's another option for you if you want to have them in a different thickness in one of the corner, for example. Okay, so now that's getting into the sub-D. How can we make it nice and puffy? I'm going to draw a straight line snapping into the 0 and just put a line there. And this is just a reference for you to see. It's much easier to understand what I'm doing. And I'm just going to use the polar array snapping into the 0 right here. And I need 5 of them. And so that will touch all the point there. It's actually not reflected much on the modeling, but just wanted to see what I'm doing in the sub-D. Okay, so in the sub-D tool, if you're coming over here with sub-D tab, then you have all the sub-D tool right here. The one we are going to use, this is called single sub-D face, and we wanted to do a snapping into this point, this point, this point, and this point. And quickly you see what I get is one of the sub-D face there. All right, and I wanted to have 5 of them, and 5 of them is all connected. So we want to use appended, and it will hit enter, and then you want to hit it from the edge. You click yes, and we're gonna click on this edge and continue to clipping 1, 2, and 3, and go ahead to click on these edges, and you're gonna click it 1, 2, and 3. Come back, and again you just like keep clicking until you get all 5 connected, and clicking this way, this point, and this point, and come back to the center. All right, so then we get semi kind of star looking things, but as you can see, this point is like not fitting to our original star, right? But that's okay. We can kind of change it. Sometimes it's easier to see if you hit the tab key, then it will see this actually touching all the point that you have there. All right, so we're gonna do some free editing. So I'm going to temporarily to hide this guy there. So we're going to just hide it. All right, so this and also the curve, we no longer need it. I'm just gonna hide it there. All right, so we can keep editing this one. So for example, if I want to do the sub-D tool and I want to pick up all the point, and I can pick up this point, for example, holding my shift and click on this one, and this one, and I just want to 3D scale it down so it will be more obvious this is a star. Okay, so you can do the editing, like if you do not want your star to be like too uniform, you can kind of dragging those points over here to make it like less uniform. Okay, so once you have this star, as you can see, it's more like a paper thin there. We actually need to make some thickness on it, right? So we want to pick up this sub-D, and under the sub-D tool, you have something, it's called offset sub-D, and we want a distance is for 4, and we want to offset to the top and just hit enter. Then you will get something like this, right? And to make it really nice and puffy, we want to round it at the edges, so I actually want to remove the crease and hit enter. Then we'll get something like this. If you do want to have a more control right there in the middle, so we can actually add the loop, and the loop will be in between this one, and just adding one right in the middle, right? So now we have something like this. It's a lot more things that we can keep editing. So for example, you can pick on the edge only and bring this edge in, or you can pick up this point right in the middle, and then for this one I want them to be puffier, something like this. And if you do want to have this only the point to be narrower, so you can pick up this edges and holding the shift, and we just kind of squish it down, right? So you can doing a lot of different thing on this editing and till you find a shape that you like. There's always more than one way to make the same model, and that is also confusing when you're searching online. It's endless result. Maybe all you need is somebody next to you to point out what is the issue and to help you to really solve the problem. This week I'm offering private one-on-one section to meet you in a private setting to help you to come up with a study plan for your jewelry CAD design. If you're interested in having a section with me, it's totally free. All you need to do is sign up and fill up a simple form, and we can brainstorming together for a great study plan for you. Hope to see you in the section. Sign up link is in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next.